It's like a spiritual knockout in some form, and it's difficult to walk through that season. I think God knows, which is why he immediately starts talking about what happens to people after and the way to handle those things, right? He knows that this season is a tough season, and that although we're going to do it, then it's going to happen. Like in doing my college work and for my ministry degrees and things like that, I read a book called Family Ministry, and in this book, it was a long book. I don't recommend reading it. I'm not even going to give you the title, right? The person, right? It's a long book, right? But in this part, she talks about divorce and biblical marriage and divorce. And practically and biblically, her stance is that marriage is forever, right? And her way is this. She says that even if you wind up separating, even if you wind up divorced, you are always attached to that person for the remainder of your life. That there, especially if you have children, you will always be attached to that person in some way, shape, or form. You know, their name will always be brought up. There will always be something that happens, you know, court proceedings, different things, different stuff. You know, for the remainder of your life, that person will be a prevalent person. Even if you deal with your children, they're going to mention that person, right? You know what I'm saying? Your marriage is forever. It doesn't end, right? And so you have to understand that. Now, I always think of other ways, like my grandmother and my grandfather, they had children together, but they divorced before I was even a thought from my parents, right? Like I didn't even know that they were ever married. I knew them as two separate people my whole life, right? But even when my grandmother passed away, we were going through her papers, and she had paperwork where at some point, 30 years after the divorce, she had to buy back his portion of the house that they owned so that she could set it up for their future planning, right? So whether it's property or children or just circumstance or situation, marriage is forever. There's always a connection with that person that you were married to. And so divorce may be final to you, but it's really not final, right? There's steps after that, which again is why God is so concerned about what happens after more so than he is about the initial cause of divorce.